All right, so about 6 months ago, I cooked up the crazy idea to drop a ton of money on this MacBook Pro 16 and make the full switch from Windows to Mac. And in this video, I wanted to kind of go over, well, was it worth making the switch? What have I gained from switching to this computer? And maybe explain a little bit of my rationale. So in case you guys aren't aware, this MacBook is powered by the M1 Max chip. This chip is a pretty big deal. I'm gonna skip a whole bunch of the technical mumbo jumbo. All I can say is, guys, this MacBook Pro is more powerful than my giant gaming desktop at home, while this thing runs on battery life at a coffee shop, okay? My previous workflow, I had a gaming computer at home for the big stuff, and then whenever I wanted some variety, I would grab the Windows laptop and hop over to a coffee shop. Problem with this workflow, as my work kind of changed and got a little bit more intensive, the Windows laptop just ended up not really being capable enough. I don't think I've shown you guys my home office setup quite yet, but basically picture a small bedroom with no windows, a giant gaming PC, and a whole bunch of camera gear absolutely everywhere. It's definitely a little bit of a claustrophobic space, and when you're working in there for like weeks on end, I hope you can understand that that kind of messes with your head and it's not the greatest thing ever. So having a laptop that meant I was no longer trapped to that environment, pretty gigantic. Now, I know that $4,000 sounds like an absurd amount of money to spend on a computer, and it absolutely is, but something to remember, at least for my workflow personally, I previously ran like a 2-computer workflow, right? With this system, it meant I only needed to own one computer that could do everything. So to be honest, the price is sort of not so bad when you consider I only need to have one computer now. Now, I'm sure someone's gonna ask, Mike, why didn't you just get a more powerful Windows laptop? Main reason is power efficiency. Most Windows laptops, if you wanna get the full capability of that machine, you have to plug into a wall outlet. And if you've ever worked at a coffee shop before, you know it's always a super annoying struggle trying to find seating with wall outlets. They're almost always taken, right? The MacBook is special because I don't need to rely on wall outlets to access 100% of the power of this thing. I can be running at full power with great battery life with no issue at all. That's a pretty huge deal. Now, in case you didn't watch the other video, another huge reason I decided to make the switch was reliability. I've always heard amazing things about MacBooks being super reliable. And I don't know, I've probably just been super unlucky, but I've never really had like a reliable or trouble-free Windows laptop. Now, after using this thing for 6 months, honestly, all the rumors were true. This thing's been a dream to use. The only issue I've had with this laptop so far is Adobe Premiere. I had a weird thing where Warp Stabilizer was taking like an insane amount of time to process. And there is a fix though, thankfully. You just have to revert to an older version of Premiere and it works fine. And honestly, I don't know if I can really blame Apple on that one. I think that's just Adobe being Adobe. But other than that issue, guys, this thing, I literally, like, it's kind of mind-blowing for me at least. I have not had a single problem. I can't think, like, nothing has not worked on this machine. Everything just works perfectly. And that is unheard of for me. I've always, Windows laptops, like, I've just had such an awful experience over these years, I guess. This thing, I've had to do none of that. It just works. It's just a computer. And I really love that. Oh, and by the way, for anybody wondering, in terms of the software transition from Windows to Mac, honestly, it's been a totally smooth experience. Yes, the first few months was kind of just a lot of like, just learning the ways and like how to be a Mac power user, I guess. And I still have a ton to learn, but I'm at the point now where I can comfortably use this thing pretty dang quickly. And yeah, I can't really say it's slowed me down in any way. Now, I'm sure you've already heard how amazing the build quality is on these MacBooks. Like, they are basically status symbols, we can't deny that. Obviously, it's cool to say I own a MacBook, and damn is the thing gorgeous, right? It is worth pointing out this hardware is not just all cosmetic. Pretty much every aspect of the hardware of this thing just makes it infinitely more convenient to use. So, for example, I'm sure you've heard before how amazing the mouse pad on this thing is. I agree with everybody, it's the best mousepad I've ever used, way better than any Windows mousepad, that's for sure. But the thing is, it's so good that I literally don't really feel the need to use an external mouse. Whereas, I don't know about you, but video editing on a Windows mousepad, that's just not happening. When you combine that with the incredible built-in speakers and the absolutely outstanding display on this thing, Oh, and plus the insane battery life and the fact that I can run this thing at full power while on battery life. What it means is you just have a machine that's so easy to use. You want to use it. And I've never had that before. It's just so easy to just sit down and get work done, and that's why it's worth it to me. All right, so in conclusion, guys, this computer has been a total dream to use so far. I honestly have nothing bad to say about it at all. If you're anything like me and you're kind of tired of being trapped to your home office setup and you're looking for a computer that allows you to get all of your work done anywhere, I think this is the one, guys. I really recommend it. All right, guys, I think that's gonna do it for this one. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.